In Austria-Hungary, a country about to change a lot, a baby was born on April 20th, 1889. His name was Adolf Hitler. Nobody knew this little baby would become one of the worst people in history. His birth, like his life, was full of problems and hints of bad things to come. The world would soon know his name, but for now he was just another baby born into a world full of uncertainty. From the very beginning, Adolf Hitler seemed like he would have a life full of conflict. His dad, Alois, was very strict and bossy. His mom, Clara, was a religious Catholic who tried to balance her husband's harshness with her own kindness. Their home was full of tension and instability. Young Adolf, stuck in the middle, would carry the pain of this upbringing forever. Adolf Hitler's childhood was full of sadness and disappointment. He was a sick kid, often ill and sad. His family moved a lot, so he never felt like he belonged anywhere. School wasn't much better. He was an average student at best, often fighting with teachers and having trouble fitting in. The start of his later anger and resentment began in these early years. A terrible thing happened when Hitler was a teenager. His younger brother, Edmund, died suddenly from measles. This was very hard on young Adolf, who was very close to his brother. Losing his dad a few years later made things even worse. Losing both his brother and father left a big hole in Hitler's heart, making him feel even more alone and abandoned. He became more withdrawn, finding comfort only in his own thoughts and dreams. In 1907, Hitler experienced the biggest loss of his life. His mom, Clara, died from cancer. Sad and lost, he moved to Vienna, the capital of Austria-Hungary, hoping to become a famous artist. Instead, he felt lost and alone in the big city. Vienna, with its beautiful buildings and exciting culture, would become the place where Hitler's dangerous ideas started to grow. Vienna in the early 1900s was a city of opposites. It was a center of art, music, and smart thinking, but it also had a lot of poverty, social problems, and tension between different groups of people. Hitler noticed the city's problems, the homeless, the poor, and the growing number of people without jobs. He blamed these problems on Jewish people, who he saw as hurting German culture and the economy. This time in Vienna was a major turning point for Hitler. It was here that he first experienced the strong anti-Semitism that would become a core part of his beliefs. When World War I started in 1914, Hitler saw a chance to escape his bad life and find a purpose. He joined the German army, hoping to prove his love for Germany and get rid of what he saw as Europe's problems. He fought bravely on the Western Front and even won a medal for bravery. But the horrors of war didn't change his strong nationalism. During these troubled times, a promise of power and a fresh start appealed to many people. Wanting change badly, many saw this promise as a sign of hope. But, as we know now, promises like these can be dangerous. The desire for power can be very tempting, but the results can be terrible. This time in history reminds us of the difference between hope and the dangerous path it can sometimes take. After becoming Chancellor in January 1933, Hitler quickly took complete control. The Reichstag fire in February gave him an excuse to take away people's freedoms and arrest his political enemies. By March, a new law gave Hitler the power to make laws without anyone's approval. Soon all political parties, except the Nazi Party, were banned, making Germany a totalitarian state under Hitler's rule. The Nazi regime used fear and propaganda to control people. The Gestapo, the secret police, and the SS, Hitler's special army, stopped anyone who disagreed with them. Concentration camps were built to imprison and kill people the Nazis considered enemies, including Jewish people, political opponents, and other groups. The Nazis' actions caused a lot of suffering and led to the Holocaust. Hitler's aggressive actions caused World War II in 1939. When Germany invaded Poland, it started a war across Europe and beyond. Germany quickly conquered many countries, and by 1940, much of Western Europe was under Nazi control. The war caused terrible destruction and death, with millions of soldiers and civilians killed. The Axis powers, led by Germany, tried to take over Europe, but the Allied forces fought back hard. Hitler's rule left a legacy of terrible sadness and moral failure. The Holocaust killed 6 million Jews and millions of others because of their ethnicity, political beliefs, or social status. The war destroyed Europe and changed the world. The Nuremberg trials punished Nazi leaders for their crimes, but the pain from that time remains. Hitler's hateful beliefs remind us of the dangers of dictatorships and the importance of protecting human rights and dignity.